Can you guys believe what Cindy did this week? Let's talk about that on today's 10-minute talk. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's 10-minute talk. My name is Pastor Jay Wentworth. I'm the lead pastor at Spirit Alive Wesleyan Church in Yakima, Washington. I hope that you didn't just keep going in this video because you want to know what happened with Cindy. I have no idea what happened with Cindy, but today we are talking about gossip. And there is such a danger in gossip, and it is so easy to fall into the habit of gossip. And not just gossip, but talking badly about people or talking about things that aren't your business at all. And why it's bad to share that? Well, we're going to talk about that today. So we're going to dive right into scripture, and we're going to go right to James 1:26. Let's look at it. It says this: "And if anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless." Boy, that's a strong word at the end there. Worthless. But basically what this is saying, if you have a mindset that you are a righteous person and you don't hold your tongue when you are speaking of people you think are unrighteous, or speaking about other people in a way that you don't have permission to do, your religion is worthless. Why? Because you're showing no grace, because you're spreading false judgment, because even if you do have the context, the odds of you explaining the entire context to the people you are talking to about that other person are so low. Because, friends, we don't take the time, especially nowadays, to explain the entire context. Or we do it after the fact. We do, well, Cindy was doing this and this and this. You won't believe what she was doing. Yada, 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 yada. And then at the end of what we talk about, we casually mention, well, I understand she was under a lot of stress. But friends, the main message, the main part of what you said, you basically put the context in parentheses. And the main part of what you said, the negative part of what you said, or the part that was private, is what your listener heard the most. And then they are going to go spread that without context. And once a person believes that information is not private, which guess what? As soon as you share it without permission, it's not private. Okay? And I know that is hard, but I will say this. Your job as a Christian, if you believe somebody is doing something wrong, is to approach them individually and talk to them about that issue. Then approach them, if they refuse to listen, with a small group of people. And then talk about it as a whole group. Never with that person present the entire time. Every single one of those situations, that person is present. Now, if you are seeking counsel for how to help the person, that is a different category. Okay? If you feel called to help somebody and you're not sure how to do it, and you seek counsel, then you are doing that with absolute care and with absolute grace. Your purpose is not just to share information, but to gather information. Do you see the difference? To gather information on how to help that person out of the situation, rather than just telling the information to somebody because you think they might be interested in what's going on. But friends, it's not our business what's going on. Our business is to help people heal. Our business is to help people get better. Our business is not to just blatantly share people's information because we think it's interesting. And so when you don't bridle your tongue, your heart is deceived. And you think you're just sharing a story, but what you're really doing is damaging your walk and damaging the person you're talking about's walk and damaging your listeners' walk. So you're damaging 3 people's relationships with Jesus. And I seriously mean that, because you want to share some juicy information about Cindy. Now, I don't know a Cindy. It's just a name I'm using as an example. Okay? Now, I want you to, there's a very key verse in Matthew that I want to go to. And I want you to understand the meaning behind that verse, because this is important to this whole thing. Okay? Here it is. And I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. Matthew 12:36. And in case you didn't guess, the key word there is the word careless. Doing something without care. And you may think, but my intent is to be with care. If the person you were talking about behind their back, without them knowing, was in the room and heard what you said, would they say, wow, they have said that with so much care? And that is what matters. Is your subject going to take what you're saying as words of care, words of love, words of kindness, of generosity, of grace? Are they going to take it like that? Is the person listening to you going to understand that you're speaking words of care? And even if they're excited to receive that information, I guarantee you they can instantly tell, whether or not you are actually speaking that with care. And friends, if you have to follow up your words with, don't get me wrong, I'm not gossiping, or don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to share their secrets, but that but in there, that's a capital B. Because that means you know you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. You're saying something you're not supposed to be saying, and you're admitting that you are speaking those words without care. Friends, it is so easy to fall into the trap of gossip because we have information and we want to share it. We know something about people and we want to share it. But the right way to do it is to go to that person and say, hey, I care about you, and I want you to know that I'm worried about this situation. One-on-one, mano a mano. And you can even ask them if it's okay for you to share that information with other people. That's showing care. And they will get that. And if they say no, you say, got it. I won't say a word to anybody. That's showing care. That's not careless at all. In fact, that's careful. It's the opposite of careless. And we all know these things. I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't know. This is not new information. It's not surprising. And yet, we struggle at it so much. So friends, do everyone a favor. When you feel like sharing somebody else's information, unless you're seeking counsel to help that person, and you're only going to talk to whatever person is helping you, seek that counsel, or take them with you to see that person. Don't share the information without the consent of the person you are talking about. That is not godly. Gossip is not godly. It's inconsiderate, and quite frankly, it's sinful. So I pray that this week, if you find yourself tempted to share somebody else's information without permission, to talk about somebody behind their back, to say something slanderous or scandalous about somebody behind their back, that you stop and think, literally, what would Jesus do in this situation? Am I being biblical? Am I being careless with my words? Hope you have a blessed week this week. We'll talk to you soon. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. You have my permission. Have a good day.